OU football. The ESPN chairman, Jimmy Pitaro, reaffirms that Oklahoma and Texas going to be in the Big 12 until 2025 when their grant of rights, or is it the grant of rights or what? It's their
media
the
rights,
media,
or the Big
yeah.
12.
Yeah. Whenever their
thing,
Big 12
right.
agreement runs out. I always get confused with the terminology. Grant of rights is like for what the Big 12 agrees upon with TV deals and yada, yada. Okay. So is this something we expected? I don't think they last till 2025.
I don't think so either.
I think we
that's
do.
the whole thing. I think they're playing this year by year, and they're going to say 2025 until next year when they try to rework it again.
Yeah.
I personally feel we need the 3 seasons to get ready, and I'm personally okay with 2025 for that reason.
Sure, but that's like a different conversation than
I don't think we need to rush
the media rights thing, like where we land next year or the year after.
I agree with what you're saying, Patrick, but I think it's going to be earlier than that. Like I would be fine being in the Big 12 for 3 more seasons. I wouldn't be super upset about it because I agree that OU needs to kind of get their feet under them in this new SEC world that they're about to enter into, especially with a new head coach who needs some time to get his program built together the way that he wants it. But I think money talks, and I think they're going to be out sooner rather than later.
I might go against the grain here, but I don't want to stay. I don't think it's a good idea to stay. I think if we can get out, we should get out. I totally understand, like, let's prepare, let's do all of that stuff, but we're never really going to be prepared. Like, we just got to like jump into the deep end, I think, at some point, whether that be 2025, 2023, whenever it's going to be. I also think that the ESPN Plus deal that we just made is strategic. And I think that is going to come into play. I know this is the ESPN chairman saying this, but it could be all smoke. I hope we go next year. That's my opinion.
Good take.
Mark, Matt.
I mean, I was just saying the relationship is so sour at this point. Like, we don't want to be here. Neither does Texas. They don't want us to be here, especially the way everything kind of went about, right? It just came out all of a sudden. Hey, we're leaving. But again, that's after years of having bad TV spots, not getting nationally recognized for both the 2 biggest programs in the Big 12. So I agree, sooner versus rather than later. But again, I don't know the whole contract terminology deal, what that actually means. I know there's a bunch of penalties involved, heavy amounts of money. Not saying that OU and Texas couldn't take care of that, but I don't think we're staying until 2025. I'd be really, really surprised. Another 3 seasons, maybe 1 more, maybe 2. I don't see 3.
I tend to think that we need to get ready for the SEC argument is only really true for the infrastructure we have in place, the funding that we have put towards buildings and facilities and recruiting efforts, the way that those schools do. If you look at our recruiting class this year and the last few years, we're better at recruiting than half the teams in the SEC already, right? More than that, maybe, probably. I don't know. I haven't looked at it today, but we have all those guys already. We have those athletes. We haven't had coaches that develop athletes. We've had coaches that play scheme games. And now we're going to have coaches that develop athletes. And I think that you're going to see the kind of SEC level talent getting coached to SEC level standards now. And it's going to be a different product. I think we'd be ready to compete this year if the cards fell that way.
Okay. We'll see what happens. Obviously 2022 season coming up very quickly. In the recruiting world for the Oklahoma Sooners, Marvin Burks Jr. received an offer from Brent Venables' staff. He's a 4-star safety from St. Louis, 6'2", 190 pounds. That's a sizable defensive back. I feel like that's what Brent Venables and his staff are doing. They continue to get these guys who are over 6 foot tall and have some body to them. I think that's what we're going to see in the future. You see a lot of Clemson in these defensive backs that he's recruiting. I feel like Clemson had a lot of sizable defensive backs when Brent was there as well.
AJ Terrell.
Yeah.
Exactly. And their defense was fantastic. So
yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens there. And last thing on the OU football front, CBS Sports has a win-loss total for the Oklahoma Sooners set at 9.5. How we feel?
I mean, what? That's 3 losses would be under. 2 losses
Yeah,
would
3
be
losses.
over,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
12 games.
Yeah.
No, I think that's bullshit.
Yeah,
There it is.
I totally agree.
There it
Give
is.
me. I would hammer the over. Hammer
Yeah.
the over
Hammer.
because, dude, I've said this time and time again. I don't know who in the Big 12 is going to be any good. I legit don't. Like Baylor, maybe. Oklahoma,
Baylor and maybe Texas. That's
Yeah.
all I look
Yeah.
at.
like,
Mhm.
okay, say you lose those two. I had someone today talk to me about Bedlam and asked me if I was scared of Bedlam. Hell no, I'm not scared. I'm not
They don't-
scared
They
at all.
lost.
They
They
don't
lost
get it.
everybody. They
Y'all,
lost their defensive coach.
Oklahoma State needed OU's head coach and play caller to be halfway out the freaking door to win by a single score
In Stillwater.
in Stillwater. Like, what are you talking
What are
about?
we talking about? They think that they win a single game. Lincoln Riley walks out the door and it's a whole freaking change in the paradigm.
Yeah.
No, sir. No,
No.
sir. Big brother took a step back to take 2 forward. Calm down. Put yourself back in your seat.
Exactly. So, long story short, I'm taking the over. I'm not saying they're going to win 11 or 12 games, but I think 10 is an easy bet in my
Yeah.
mind. Easy bet in my
Easy.
mind.
Yeah.
Easy.
I mean, I think the main risk is like Mark said, Texas and Baylor. Aranda's a great coach. And
Yeah, he
Texas is a crapshoot every year. So who knows?
Oh, I
I'd
know.
still say Nebraska on the road. True
Nope.
first home
We'll
road
be
game.
fine.
That'll
That
be
could
the
be
biggest.
tough too.
I'm telling you, I've said this multiple times. That game will really help me determine the rest of the season. How we go up there, it's going to be an absolutely rowdy
That
environment.
is the first away game, isn't it?
Yep. It
There
is.
is-
It's
also-
first
well,
true
it's-
road away
it-
game.
It's
That's
also the
correct.
first like Power 5 game as well. So
That's
Well,
what I
that
mean.
part I
It's-
don't care as much
yeah,
about.
well,
It's
that
just
should be
that-
like our first test, right?
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
And
Like, if
it-
we
going
lose to
to
Kent State,
Lincoln
we're
is a tough
in-
place to have your first test.
Yeah, it's very
I'm
difficult.
That part
so
is tough.
I'm so confident in Brent Venables and this coaching staff that we will be more ready for the Nebraska game than any other game, and we're going to go in and smoke them. It's
I
not
think-
going to be competition.
I love it, Pat.
Look,
I love the
the
confidence.
confidence.
Even
Matt,
if the first 2 games are bad.
Matt,
Doesn't
I get where you're coming from, but I have like what's a fair amount? Negative 50%. Do I fear Scott Frost? I don't know if the percent was right.
There it is.
I don't know. I don't know if it was right, but I am negative scared of Scott Frost because the dude is a mouth breather. He's got no idea what he's doing. He has a fluke national title under his belt at UCF, and that's the only thing he's got. I don't
give him
Did,
credit for that.
did
one.
they still
I
have they still have Martinez as their starting quarterback, or did he leave?
No, he's at
No,
Kansas State now.
it's, What's
Oh,
his
that's
name?
Casey
right.
Thompson.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
he's
right.
he's
Okay.
at Kansas
Texas.
State for his 10th year of college football.
That's true. Never
See,
leaves.
I think the more that we're talking about it, Mason got me thinking about it. That Clemson defense always showed up ready, always showed
Mhm.
up with intensity, always showed up. It didn't matter if they were home or away. They were never scared. They fired off the ball. They blitzed all night. And it is going to be, I think they're going to be ready too, but
We're just
God, that's going to be a fun game.
gonna blitz at noon instead of at
Well,
night.
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
For a couple more years.
For a couple more years.
the last thing I got on this, and it just made me think about it. With a revamped defense, with a defense that has a lot of playmakers already on it, and guys who are going to be bigger, stronger, faster after a year under Schmitty. Think about it this way: say your defense allows 17 to 20 points a game. You're telling me that my offense only needs to score 21 points a game to win a game? Give me that every time.
Every time.
Every single time. This defense is not going to allow 38 points to
No.
Kansas State. They're not going to do it. They're just not. I'm sorry. And I saved the audio. I hope I look brilliant when October rolls around, but I just
Patrick
don't
already
think,
wrote down the time slot.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is not the same team from a regime ago. It's not. So you have to stop thinking about how OU doesn't play defense and, oh, we need to score 40 a game to win. No, we don't. We don't. We need to score 24 or more.
And I love that point, Mason, but I also think we got to think about it the other side. Like, this is not a team that is probably going to score 60.
Agreed.
Either.
100%.
Like, we don't know yet about DG. We don't know yet. We still have Marvin Mims. Like, we have talent there, but I think this is going to be a team that slows down the game more than we have before and not be as fast. What I mean by as fast is like play calling as fast. So I think we need to expect that. So it's going to be lower games. It's not going to be as like rapid fire. And save the timestamp. I may be wrong, but that's my thought.
I think you're going to be wrong. I think this offense is going to put up points like crazy because that's what Jeff Levy wants to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fast pace, fast moves, shots down the field, and Jaden Gibson is going to eat if he's ready.